Hi guys, it's Erin. Today is a beautiful day. It's much cooler than it has been. It's still sunny, thankfully, but it's 65. It should top out at 70, so it is gorgeous. There are three things that I'm trying to get done today. First off is deadheading all the dahlias. So we started this project, a full dahlia patch cleanup, in the last video. Cleaning up the bottom of the dahlias. I still need to work on the labeling project part of it, which I will get to slowly but surely over the next few weeks. But the deadheading needs to happen. It's gonna rain tomorrow. I don't want all this extra weight on these plants, because all it's gonna do is make them vulnerable to flopping over and damaging what's remaining on the plant. So we don't want that to happen. And it just simply makes it faster to harvest come Friday when I do all that. I will take everything off of the plant that isn't still going to be a good bloom come Friday. So a lot of these that look like they're still good, like this one, it won't still be good on Friday. So I'm just gonna deadhead it off of there. And then the patch will be good and clean, ready to deal with the rainstorm, and it's be a lot easier for me to work in this coming week. So the second thing I want to do is step 2 of our pollinating process. So these flowers that I bagged up, I noticed yesterday that they're showing pollen. So now is the perfect time to get in there and start doing some crossing. So I have 4 of these, 4 dahlias that we saved away. And I saw at least this one and then the Cafe au lait are showing pollen. So we'll at least cross those. I'll check the other 2 and see how they're doing. But at least these 2 need to be crossed right now so that they can start building seed. And then the third thing I want to do, if I have a chance, is to plant a honeysuckle. We have another one in the garden over here in our little cottage garden, and I absolutely love it. The colors are really pretty, the pink and soft orange. I cut it for spring arrangements, and it perfumes the entire garden. It's that sweet honey spice sort of scent that it's just all I want to do is stand downwind on a warm day in the spring. So we're gonna try and get to that. So this is going to take me a little while. I've neglected my dahlias, so the actual deadheading will probably take a little bit. But then the fun part will be, I'll just walk you through how I cross-pollinate, and then we'll get planting on that honeysuckle. Okay, I'm going to set up a camera and we'll get started. I think the apple blossoms I'm going to give to the bees and just leave them here. They're so beautiful. I just don't use them much in bouquets, and the bees love them. I mean, look at that. Yep, the bees can have them. Well, that chore's done. It feels like the dahlias can breathe now. Needed to happen for a long time. I'm glad we got it done. All right, now that that's done, it's time to do some hand pollinating or hybridizing of our dahlias. So let me turn the camera on. I'm going to set it up and I'm going to show you exactly what I'm going to do. Okay, this was our cafe au lait that we bagged up. And this, unfortunately, was our little Fatima, however you say that. I accidentally deadheaded it while I was working through the rest of the patch. However, you can see in there all that pollen. That's what we need to get onto this plant. And you can see on this one also, I want to make sure the bees don't come right after it. You can see on this one, there's also pollen in the center. So that's what we're going after. So my tool for this is a paintbrush. What I like to do, let me get this set right so you can see it. I like to brush some of that pollen onto the end of my paintbrush. There's a tiny little bit there. And just dab it in there. And then I'll go back in and get a little bit more. And dab it in there again. The other thing to do is in the sides in here, this one doesn't have any, there's pollen in between the petals. This one is toast, I can't really do that. But a couple of the other ones over here I can. So I'm gonna go get those. I'll take you along, we'll go look at those. I wanna keep it covered so the bees don't get to it. Okay, I'm gonna walk you over to the other ones. All right, the last one was this, well, the other one that I did over at the other end wasn't quite ready, but this one, the Bridezilla, certainly is. So I'm gonna take this off. And do the same thing. You see all of that pollen? We just want to get that up on, sorry, it's hard to film this. Get that pollen. Can you see it on the brush? So get that pollen, see it on the brush, and I'm gonna carefully walk it over to my cafe au lait. I don't want it to fall off. I don't want anything else to get it. Okay, let's do this again. I'm gonna dig some of them inside. Let's see if we can get any a little further in. I'm gonna go do that one more time. Okay. Did it one more time. There's a tiny little bit, you probably can't see it, on top of here. What I'm doing, going in, like I said, between the petals, is if there's any visible pollen anthers, I can get it in there and do some more pollinating. Okay, I'm gonna cover this back up. I know it looks terrible, I'm smashing all the petals, but it won't matter. Just be gentle not to knock the whole head off. Now, over the next few days, I'm going to come back and do that multiple times. It just, again, it's kind of like hedging your bets. Trying to sort of game the system, try to give it as many opportunities to pollinate as possible, and then hopefully get something that's really cool in the end. Now, the other thing that you can do, you can really literally just let them go to seed and have the bees pollinate them. Like I said in the last video, the open center dahlias, they're more likely to get the bee action because it's easy to get to the pollen on those. So they're the first flowers that the bees are going to go to. But if you can force it into a variety or a shape, a flower shape that you prefer, that's the best go, or the best chance you're going to get to mimicking that shape. If it's just the bees pollinating, there's a good chance that you're going to get the open center crossed onto something else, and you may get an open center, you may get something else, but the odds are higher that you'll get an open center. Nothing wrong with that. Like I said before, they're beautiful. I will take any kind, but I'm just trying to force either this blush color onto a pompon or a ball, or even that anemone or the formal decorative shape. Either one works perfectly for me, but I would prefer a fully doubled flower over an open center for what I'm hand pollinating. However, if you just want to let nature do what it's doing, now is the best time to just pick a few flowers to leave be. Early September, at least for our zone, gives them enough time to pollinate and produce a seed, and then be able to dry out so that you can harvest it and use it. So that's the best bet. Hang on one second. Okay, so I did also want to show you these guys. I found these on my Giggles variety dahlia. That's an open center. It's a collarette variety, so it's not surprising, but this is what you want to look for when your seed heads are fully ripe and ready. These guys are all dried out. They have been pollinated. They've done what they need to do, and they've likely created seed in there. So I'm going to take these inside. I will save them separately, and when I do all my seed collecting all together, I'll grab all of these. I will keep these ones separated from the hand pollinated, just so I can see if the hand pollinating actually worked and we got anything really cool. But otherwise, I'm going to keep these because I always want to have a few extra anyways. What you want to look for is to make sure that they're dried, they're not squishy, and basically that they're all dried down. When you see them, can you see this one? Here. When you see the seed heads working on it, right? This one's been pollinated and it's working on making seed. This is nowhere near ready. I mean, you can still see pollen in there. it needs to be fully dried down like this before it's really ready to harvest any seed. When we get to that point, I will definitely take you guys along the process of actually harvesting the seeds out of the flower heads. The last thing we're going to try and do today is get that honeysuckle in the ground. The weather is starting to turn. I think the rain is coming in, so let's get that in the ground real quick. All right, this is the honeysuckle. I brought you over here because I wanted to show you this. Right here is our other honeysuckle, the same variety as this one. That one's completely out of bloom, and this one's almost there, but you can see the colors of what the blooms actually look like. That kind of gold orange and the bright pink. It's so pretty. I love it, love it, love it. So this will get, the height of it, the length of the vine, this will get as big as you want it to get, really. It's all dependent on where it has to climb and what you do with it. They do tell you to keep them 8 feet apart if you're going to plant more than one. We're going to plant this one on the opposite side of the property, so it's not a big deal. But this is a very, it's a very vigorous grower. This one has been there for 6 or 7 years now, and it's just huge. I probably should give it a real hard prune and give it a chance to rebound all the way. This is a full sun plant. It's hardy, and it says zone 4 and up, so it's a really good hardy plant. And I just love it. I use it in fall, or I use it in spring flower arrangements, because it blooms on new wood, so it'll put out long stems that I can cut, and then with these beautiful bright colors that just, like I said, it perfumes the whole garden, so it perfumes the bouquet. And I will put it in there, and they last pretty well in a vase, and customers adore it. And the more I prune on it, it seems the more that it'll flush out more. So like I said, I love, 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 love more than I can say this plant, this one in particular. And this one gets, in our sun, it gets protection in the afternoon, and it seems to like that. It could potentially burn. It says it's full sun, should get 6+ hours of sun every day, but it tends to burn a little bit, and it kind of peters out when it gets hot and it's in the direct sun. But over the last few years, a lot of the trees and shrubs around this one have grown up, and it seems to do better now that it gets the afternoon protection. So let me take you over to where we're going to plant it in the St. Francis garden. This is our St. Francis garden. Sorry about the noise next door. And I already have on the side of this side of the trellis a rose that should climb up. And I wanted some more height and color on this beautiful trellis. So I'm going to plant it right here and run it up the trellis. And hopefully it will cover this side of it, adding more shade to some of the other plants around here. And there we have it. I think it's going to be really beautiful climbing up over that trellis there that John built. It's going to be just the best. All right, guys, I really hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that you learned something. I hope that you give it a try, the hybridizing. Otherwise, just let nature do its course and collect seeds in a few weeks. It's going to be a beautiful spring next year. If you like this video, hit a thumbs up. If you haven't already, subscribe, leave a comment, and then I'll talk to you in the next video. Bye, guys.